Hey everybody, it's Alex back for another part of the City Skylines, starting from nothing, and we're building our way up, and I'm just trying to show you some of the basic tricks and techniques so that you can at least enjoy the game and not get tripped up. A lot of people fail on their first few cities because they don't catch how to make things work, and it can get a little bit frustrating. City Skylines is incredibly complicated. I love watching the AI people run around, So it's an incredibly complex game, but it's really easy to run into problems. So we're going to try to keep you away from the problems, and we'll see what we can do with it. So let's, without further ado, let's crack straight into it, right? Oh, and for what it's worth, by the way, and I'm going to turn the sound up in the game a little bit more just for fun here. Big shout out to Biffa. If you don't know who Biffa is one of the true magicians of City Skylines. But I'm sure he'll appreciate this little series here because I'm doing this on basically a vanilla installation of City Skylines with all the vanilla standard stuff up until Sunset Harbor. I don't have any Move It mods or any other mods like that. No traffic mods, no nothing. So I do have some of the issues of despawning and stuff like that if things get ridiculous on the traffic. But overall, we're just doing it with a very basic, how you would buy it out of the box. If you bought the standard City Skylines up to Sunset Harbor, you would have these things, and away we go. So, in our last episode, we made it up to Tiny Town. That's 1,000 population. Our next goal is going to be Boomtown. Boomtown is a big one because Boomtown is where you finally get transport and buses and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we got to keep building our people without overwhelming the city or the town for now, so that we can get up to the public transport, because once we have public transport, it is a lot easier to get things done in this game, let me tell you. Plus, we get a whole bunch of other intersections and whatnot if we want to do. So, we're going to click out of here, and we're going to hit pause. The very first thing. Oh, I always love these. The mayor's doing well, leading the city. New citizens business, keep moving in. Okay, see, they're all happy. So now we have some new options. We have a recycling center. People do like recycling centers, but they are a little expensive. So we sort of shy away from them. What we are going to do before we go too much further is we're going to check our various utilities. We're going to check how full our landfill site is. You got to watch this one. We're going to check how we're doing for electricity. Oh, we're almost at the point of needing another generating plant. Remember, we went up to 100%. We can't go too much further without more electricity. So we got to watch out for that one. And the problem is, we have enough money right now because the electrical plant, it's a coal plant unfortunately, is 19,000. So we may have to consider putting that in right away to avoid having anything. Water, we're still pinned. We're fine. Water is not going to be our issue. Also, for roads, we're fine. We have lots of stuff. So, what I would do in this circumstance, because we have demand for business and demand for homes, we're going to run out of power really quickly. So, step one, unavoidably, is going to be putting in power. And unfortunately, at this point, coal power is our only choice. These will all get deleted later because coal power is definitely not good for your people. Now, we don't have a ton of money left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the loans. And I'm going to show you a loan trick. Remember we just took this 20,000 loan a minute ago? I'm going to take a 60,000 loan. And I'm going to pay the 20,000 loan off. Okay? You always want to keep one of these available for you so that if you get really desperate, you can always come get some cash. You don't want to live on loans, just like real life. But in this little temporary spot here, and I'll show you the reasons why we have to do this, we don't have any medical yet. So I am going to put in a medical clinic. I'm just trying to think of where the best place is for it. I guess I'm going to put it here so we get a lot of coverage over that way, and it pretty much makes it out there. So we have a medical clinic. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to get a thing called a dog park. And dog parks are not particularly amazing parks or anything like that, but dog parks do have incredible value when it comes to making people happy. You see the circle of happiness around that park? Okay. If I get another park, it might be a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. Well, let's just see how big a park we can fit in here. The parks are all different sizes, so you can kind of find one that fits into the space you have. The doggy park is relatively small. Actually, I think we can do that. Now, what that'll do is that creates an incredible amount of happiness, number one. And number two, it also creates it creates demand for housing. And what we're going to do is we're going to work to make sure that we have lots of pre-made, pre-existing housing space so that people can move into our town happily. And I'm making a very gritty town. I'm not doing anything fancy. The only thing I'm doing fancy at this point is following along a little bit the shape of the land over here. But we're not going to do anything else exciting. But we do have lots of demand for business, and we do have lots of demand for residential. So we're going to come over here and we're going to open up what I consider to be some of the nicest residential spaces. And we're going to let this go and let people start moving in. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to let a little bit of business go in there. But I'm not going to put any business here or here because there's no way for them to get there for now. So we don't want to encourage people to go places that they can't get to. Now, so far so good. We have a park. We have people going to the park. We need a path. We want to encourage people to connect from side to side in this town. So in places where we don't have roads going through, we will make paths so people are encouraged to walk around and come to visit our parks. All that. And you see lots of people moving around, and our population is slowly going up. And that's all good. Now, this area here, hang on, let me tilt up a little bit. Let me pause this out for a moment here. This area here, you can see we're far enough away from this main intersection here and this main intersection here. We're going to need to start to build over this way. Newbie Heights is really good, and actually I will make Newbie Heights a little bit bigger. We'll just extend Newbie Heights out a little bit because Newbie Heights is a cool place. Everybody wants to live in Newbie Heights. Industry-wise, and this is what we have to start looking at, what our land can do and what's the best things we can do with our land. So we have farmland over here next to our industrial park. Probably not a good thing. And we have some woodland resources. So we can do forestry and we can do farming. Both of those are good businesses, and they both have their pluses and their minuses. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to mark this area here as an industrial area, and it's going to become our farming area, and this is going to become our woodland area. Now, there's a little bit of extra here and here. But you notice down here there's really nothing. If I was going to buy another square, I would probably, more than ever, probably buy the square directly below this. Number one. Number two square would be going this way. This has got a whole bunch of oil resources in it, which are really important over the long run, but not over the short run. So we've defined out our two basic industrial zones here, but it means that we have an area here, which I'm going to just kind of squidge in here, which is going to be the biz. Okay. That'll be Farmer Brownstown. And that'll be Where Bears Poop. Right? That's the woods. Just to remind myself. So basically, I almost always name the district where I first started to remember what it was. The biz is we're going to build some business in here, maybe with a little bit of residential behind it, but we have to remember that Farmer Brownstown is right there, so we have to be a little bit careful. Now, this is where we get to the first time you're going to see something that's probably not normal, which is I destroy a little bit of business. And I do that because I want to be able to make it so that I can connect Farmers Brownstown over here somewhere so the trucks can get in and out easily. Okay, so something like that. So there's a way for them to come in here, hit this intersection, quickly get on the highway. Later on, you would want them to be connected directly down to the highway without going through town at all, but we can't. For the moment, we don't have the money. We don't have the resources. So the next step is we're going to build a road right down the middle here, like this. It doesn't give us any extra space to work in, but it creates a nice little businessy district. And we are going to provide some paths so that if our citizens want to cross the road, they can get in and out of this area easily, because we want to make sure that the citizens can get to all of this area. Then we're going to come over here and we're just going to introduce very slowly and very lightly some commercial area for them to start moving into. You'll notice we don't have a whole ton of demand yet for industrial. That's just because of the way this all works out. People don't necessarily come flying in when you first put them there. We're losing money right now. We're losing $800 and something a week, but we're getting there. Now, I'll just pause this out. Remember we added an extra electric plant? We're producing way more electricity than we need right now. We can go back here and do the same thing again. We can come back to the budget and we can turn the power down a bit. And that'll save us a little bit of money. We were at 1158 and we'll make it run here and you'll see it'll drop down probably 100. Tick, tick, 139, 139. Yeah, it's slowly easing its way down. And that will help us come closer to being profitable. Some people will suggest that you can raise the taxes. I do agree with them, by the way. You do have the ability to raise taxes at a certain point in this game. I try to avoid doing tax raises unless it's an absolute necessity. But these numbers are slowly but surely coming into line here, so we won't worry too much about that. So we'll get rid of the budget. And we'll just have a quick look. So we got a little bit of demand for residential, a little bit of demand for commercial, but nothing serious. So we're going to let them go just a little bit. Our population is creeping up, and our tax base is creeping up. As these people move in and build houses, they do increase our overall tax base. People will move in, and this number will slowly become positive. You just kind of have to wait for it. Sometimes it doesn't really want to come around the corner right away. Just be really careful not to add too many extra services that you can't afford or can't support. Okay? Because otherwise you will go broke. And you just got to kind of sit here and wait for this thing to come to you. You've built all these roads. Your town is ready to explode and become busy. And if you can get business and whatnot to move in a little bit, it will encourage the residents to come in, and the residents come in, and like magic, you're making money again. And you're back in the positive. The most important thing I can tell you in this game is just don't get nervous too quickly. Okay, so now we look at our districts, right? We're right in the middle of Farmer Brown's town, right? So, in the middle of Farmer Brown's town, we are going to make a single lane road going probably like about that, because we need to have somewhere to put Farmer Brown's main building. So we go to the industrial, we go there, and we go, we need 15,000, so we have to wait. So we wait. We let the city keep going, keep growing. Look at what our budget is doing. Check our electricity. We're okay for now. Check our water. We're good. Check our garbage. Still only 4%. We're happening. Nobody's complaining. Oh, but we do need... why do they not have water? Oh, no, they just... Oh, we have water restrictions. That's why I always read that one wrong. We do need to bring water to Farmer Brown's town, so we will do that. Costs a little bit of money, but we're at least ready to go. We don't have to worry about it. And we just keep watching the demand. There's a little bit of demand for industrial. We can sort of play the game for now and just go boink. Now, we also do have fishing industry, and I'll show you that because we don't have to do anything about it right away. The map will show you basically what type of fish are around. So you got shellfish in the purple, tuna in the blue, salmon in the orangey pink. I don't think we have a little bit here. No, those are anchovies. These are salmon around the edges. But for the most part, we're doing tuna this time. Tuna seems to be the big deal. We can very easily... The fishing industry is actually relatively easy to set up. You basically just put a generic... Your first one will be a generic fishing harbor. You put the generic fishing harbor in, and you generically fish. And you catch what you catch, and everybody's happy. Now notice we're making money. Our population is going up very slowly. We do have some more residential demands, so we can just ease a little bit more into our availability here and encourage everybody to move into our town. We also want to check our schools. We do have the ability to have a high school. We don't have high school money yet, but it's something we're going to get to pretty quickly here. We're going to move this thing up to full speed ahead, Captain, just so it runs the money up a little bit quicker. Now, you notice we're all good. We're going for 1,800 people. We're already at 1,500, almost 1,600 people. We're happening. The budget is going up, right? We got money. We could put another... Technically, I can do this. because we're really close to the edge here. We'll get a high school, and we will drop a high school in, say, right about there. That should cover everybody for now. And that should absolutely drive the demand for housing wild. And now it's just a question of hanging on to the reins as this horse starts to run pretty much as fast as you can imagine. The closer they are to the schools as well, generally the people are happier. And boom! We are a boom town. 1,800 people, and we're growing fast. We're growing in the double digits here, which is really good. So we've reached Boomtown. Boomtown now gives us, to me, I think some of the most important steps that we can have towards maintaining our business and maintaining employment, which is transport, specifically to start with buses, later on subways, trains, and other things. So right now we're booming. We also get, what else do we get? We also get some highway interchanges and highways and highway ramps and stuff like that. We do have the ability to add water ferries, and that might be something else we take advantage of in this town because we have water all around the city. We also get these three very important buildings: cemetery, elder care, and child health care. These are three very important things because these are, particularly cemetery, people start dying in your town, and if there's dead bodies not getting picked up, your citizens get really upset and they start moving out really, really fast, and your town can crash in 10 minutes. I mean, it's amazing what can happen. We also have the taxi depot, tram depot, geothermal heating if we need it, but I don't think we need it in this town. I don't think we're going to do it that way. We have the ability to do ferries. We have the biofuel bus depot, the bus depot, post office, fish factory. We have a wave power plant. The wave power plant is kind of interesting. We have to look and see. It's an interesting way to make power without making as much pollution. A little pricey, but potentially a good solution in the long run. So overall, we've made it all the way to Boomtown. So that's, where are we at here? 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one is a big jump, a doubling of population. And that's only going to happen when we can get the people around town. So, thanks very much for watching this episode of City Skylines. Building your basic city and making the world go round and round and round, making City Skylines, kind of. And from here, tune in for the next episode, which will probably be in one of these links after it's up. I don't know, maybe. Or just check the sequence, because we'll be playing the next section here in a minute. And going to move ourselves up and double our population. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.